Alrighty guys, welcome to another episode here with me, Snake Gaming, as your host, and today we're going to be looking at Infernus, probably one of the most straightforward, easy carry heroes you get out there, but he's also easy to mess up with, and you can end up feeding non-stop to the enemy if you don't do it right. Positioning is key, and also the items that you get, the type of items you get. I'm going to tell you guys all about it. First, the item build, and then a bit of gameplay. Enjoy. Alrighty, ladies and gents, let's start off the build. We first start off with the weapon damage, and this is where a lot of your damage lies. So we start off, and we are going to talk about the Soul Shredder bullets. Alright, that's one of the items you want to get, and it applies a debuff that amplifies your spirit damage against the target and grants you spirit lifesteal. So you are doing more damage and gaining HP. Alright. Very early on in the game, I try and get Ricochet. Ricochet is going to help you farm because your bullets ricochet from one enemy target, be it a enemy hero or a creep, and it ricochets to all other enemies in that area. So with a hero like Infernus, where you apply a debuff, the burn damage, you want to apply that to everyone in AoE. It just helps out, and it helps you farm so that you get your other items quicker. That makes you grow quicker. We have toxic bullets that also just amps up some of the spirit damage. It stops healing from the enemies. It's really a great item, especially if you compare it with escalating exposure, as you'll see later on in the build. We've got slowing bullets. It just makes that it's easier to hit the target. If they don't run as fast, it's easier to hit them. Makes sense. We've got the spiritual overflow, where you gain fire rate and spirit power by charging up when shooting enemy heroes. Well, you gain fire rate, you shoot them quicker. And then you get the extra spirit power, which is the burn damage that you apply. Just makes sense. Why not? And then we get the Titanic magazine. We start off quite early on with the basic mag and then go up just so you've got more bullets to spend. All right. So the vitality items. Enduring Spirit, we got that pretty early on. And it gives you a bit of life steal, a bit of sustain in lane, a bit of spirit power, bonus health. It's such a good item in the early stages. We just never managed to get rid of it. The game ended before we could buy any more items. All right, then we've got the extra stamina. I love having extra stamina. It gives you mobility. If there's enemies that are charging at you, trying to catch you, you just get out of them a lot quicker. All right, I like movement. That's how I play. Then I've got the healing booster. We got bullet armor, spirit armor. Basically, all of those make sense. And then leech. All right. Leech, you could also go for inhibitor or siphon bullets. Those two would also be quite good, but I like the lifesteal from Leech. You'll see it gives you 20% weapon damage, it gives you cooldown reduction, things that you want with Infernus. All right. Then, as for the spirit items, we got some very basic spirit items. We got the slowing hex. That means you can slow the enemy, meaning it's easier to hit them, and you can just shoot them. All right. And it's just a great item to have. It gives you +5 spirit power, and it makes you a little bit faster, one extra movement speed. We got the duration extender, so if you apply a burn damage on the enemy and your ult lands, it lasts for a bit longer. Then we have the escalating exposure that comes from Mystic Vulnerability, obviously. It's just the more spirit damage you do, each tick of spirit damage is gonna get more and more and more. So the guy burns up way worse than what he's supposed to. And then we got the improved spirit there, which you can later increase to boundless spirit. All right, that's it, guys. That is the items we got. Let's go have a look at some gameplay and how we destroy the enemy. So a little bit of Infernus gameplay. All right, I started recording a little bit late on this game, so sorry about that for you guys. But just to show that, we start off with your torpid, and then you generally start spraying, get them to light on fire, and then you chase after them with your second ability. It helps them burn, and that helps you get the kill. Right, that is the gist of it, as you see there. All right, easy said, hopefully easy done. So what we do is we generally get a couple of levels in each of these abilities, and then you get 2 levels into your second ability, the fire charge, because it amps your DPS quite a bit, and then you upgrade your third ability. Alright, the third ability is the dot. You get that to full. Alright, you can see there, you're using my ult to get in under tower, stun them, and get out there. Just such a great hero. A lot of mobility coming in here from Infernus. and unfortunately you need great aim, which is something I do not have. I struggle with that a little bit, right? I am more of a thinker and not as much of an aimer. We dish up quite a bit of damage there. You can see the damage over time ticking down on Kelvin over there. So it's really good if you can stand in the back and just spray the enemy the whole time, get those damage out. It's amazing. Now something you want to get with Infernus, and something I like to get quite early on, is Ricochet. Alright, Ricochet is a really good item just because it applies the burn damage in an AoE to all targets hit. So you'll see over here how I farm these camps. Spray down, hit reload, charge through them, burn them all to crisp, and then off we go again. And that's what you're going to be doing in the early game, just farming up your items. You'll see here I've only got a couple of items, and I am starting to farm as much as possible. We have an engagement here. I do set the beep up on light, and I use my ult to cancel his ult, which is something you can do. It's a stun. And here you can see I had enough money, so we go ahead, we buy the Ricochet, and that is it. From here on, you start farming like a madman. And when you're in a team fight, you're dishing AoE bullets, right? You are doing so much damage in that AoE. We land a nice little ult there, get some burn damage, especially onto that Shiv. Something else you can do is you get Mystic Vulnerability and Toxic Bullets. Alright, the Toxic Bullet procs that Mystic Vulnerability, the EE actually, the Escalating Exposure. So the Toxic Bullets will tick down that, and then when your burn damage kicks in, you dish so much damage from the burn damage, and you'll get your duration extender and improve cooldown, which will help with some of these, or extending the abilities, and then also shortening the duration that you have to wait before they come off cooldown. Beautiful little rift from the right there, combined with my ult. Kelvin does trap us in his dome here, but that's okay, we get out of it, and now it is time to start charging. We get out of the haze ult there using our speed boost. I mean, that's perfect use of it. You can get in and out of trouble, alright? Even when you upgrade that second ability, haze will tell, Infernus will tell you this is a good way to get in and out of trouble. Shiv trying to do Shiv things there, but we just didn't allow him. We stayed out of reach. Now you can see I applied the burn damage there. You can reapply it every couple of minutes, but he did go low enough there, and our teammates were able to capitalize on that. I see the Grey Talon falling low. We start spraying into him, managed to get that kill as well, and you'll see we're amping up in the net worth over here. We are farming very efficiently all over the map. We are getting last hits, you can see, going for the crates as well. Now getting out of the dungeon over there, we see the Infernus, the Kelvin here. Now by now we have the Toxic Bullets, so his healing is dampened quite a lot. He's burning and he goes down. Alright, this hero is very basic. There's not much skill required to him. The skill that you need is more knowledge of when to go in and when not to go in. That's what you're looking for. You need to know when to engage, when not to engage. Keep your distance from the enemy and just spray into them. Right, we've got slowing bullets that'll help us with that as well, so they can't catch up with us, because you are quite squishy, and especially in the beginning. Right, by now I have lifesteal, I have loads of items, but in the beginning you are very squishy, and you don't want to get caught out of position, otherwise you're just going to end up feeding. Right, and especially with the Bebop in their team, the Bebop hooks you and you're just a goner each time. I see a little engagement happening over here, and we pop our Torpid onto the Kelvin. He domes himself, so while he's busy we end up going for the McGinnis. Quick tip, your ult goes through. If you're on the outside of a Kelvin dome, Infernus ult will hit Kelvin even on the inside of his dome. Alright, I learned that just earlier on while I was playing Kelvin. I did not know that during the course of this game, unfortunately. Alright, now you'll see we do have escalating exposure. We've brought that up now, and now we can just start spraying to the enemies. Quick little kill into Kelvin. That was actually a bit of a steal, right? I don't know if you call it a steal. He was low, I shot at him, I didn't use any abilities, and you'll see that I did do most of the damage at the end of the game. So yeah, I just capitalized. Let's say capitalized. Now you can see here, doing loads of damage onto this Shiv. We land our ult on him. Shiv is a problem. Everyone knows Shiv is a problem. The freaking heroes are overpowered. This last patch has nerfed him a little bit. Just a teensy little bit. Alright? But it's not even that bad. He's still so strong. And this was pre-patch, so he was still really strong, and that's why you'll see I do focus him quite a lot, especially with my toxic bullets. Now, get into a small area over here, which is usually a great area for you to fight as a Infernus, because your ult AoE, your toxic bullets are spreading around due to ricochet, your dots is applying to everyone. It's perfect, alright? You want to keep your distance, you want to stay in and out of all the trouble, but, well, you want to stay out of all the trouble, but for the enemy, it's terrible if you can just spread all that COVID onto all of them. Get another little kill onto Kelvin over here as well. Luckily, the Kelvin, I struggle to get a hang of it. I'm trying to do a Kelvin video for you guys as well, and I do well, but he's more of a support here, and I'm trying to do a carry build for you guys. But he's definitely a very good support. Lots of heals coming in from him. Alright, well, we do have the enemies dead, so it is time to pressure. And Infernus does so much damage, especially if you throw your Q onto these buildings. The burn damage over time, it just all affects them really badly. And you'll see how Infernus chunks through this type of through the buildings, to be honest. Now, getting the 2 shrines, making sure we got those flex slots unlocked. As you can see, we've got like 9k in the bag, and luckily there's not a lot of unsecured souls that I have. These are mostly just from pushing waves, securing objectives, things like that. Hayes comes in with a big ult. She is very low, but I just decided we've got so much money. We've taken the objectives that we need for now. Let's back off. Let's get in out of the harm's way. Kelvin coming past us as well. He uses his ult to try and get away, but the burn damage combined with the toxic bullets, it's just too much. Alright, it's just too much. You'd think he'd sustain through it, but by now we are so far ahead of the enemy. You'll see I'm 6 slotted. I've got multiple tier 3 items and tier 4 items, tier 4 items, and we are just way too strong. We are on the verge of taking the enemy base. So dealing up a lot of pressure onto them here. We've got the 7, we've got me that push really well, and then we've got the Lash in the background there that can deal a lot of damage. You'll see our teammates didn't do too well throughout the game. It was basically me and Lash carrying them, but there was some great moments from all of them at all times though, so you can't really fault them. They were living in the shadow of my excellence. I'm joking. Alright, getting some more tower damage. I should have been focusing the patron here, but it is transforming, and during that time you cannot do any damage to it, right? There's only 2 enemy heroes up, and they are dying bit by bit. McGinnis is the last person standing here, and McGinnis will be able to get into her safety of her home. So focus on the enemy patron. We've got all 5 heroes up, and that's it. But I'm not going to make a big video about this hero. He is really easy. There's really nothing much to say about him except shoot the enemy and get the right items. Alright, I'll post my build and then you guys can have a look. But you'll see I did the most damage in the game, even though I didn't get the most kills. We just did loads of damage. What was that? Freaking 53k damage. We almost did the most. We basically got the 2nd most OBG damage, and then loads of healing. 23k healing from this hero. It's a stupid hero. It's really strong. Enjoy him. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope it helps out a little bit, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Remember to like and subscribe. Cheerios.